Good morning, dear children. So today we'll be learning metal reactivity series. Now, what is metal reactivity series? On the basis of the rate of the reaction of metals with oxygen, air, oxygen means here air, water and dilute acids, the metals have been arranged in the decreasing order of their chemical reactivity. That means they are ordered in the decreasing order of their chemical reactivity. That means as you go down this column, down this series, reactivity decreases. So on what basis this is arranged? On the basis of the reaction with oxygen, acids, okay, especially dilute acids and water. On the basis of that, these metals are kept in this series. So a list in which, so then how do we define reactivity series of metals? So a list, this is a list in which the metals are arranged in the decreasing order of their chemical reactivity is called the metal reactivity series. So a list in which the metals are arranged in the decreasing order of their chemical reactivity is called the metal reactivity series. That means it is a list in which metals are kept on the basis of their reaction with oxygen, water and dilute acids. So how do they react, whether they react or not. So those which are not reacting at all with oxygen, air, water and dilute acids, they are at the bottom, extremely at the bottom. Those which react uh, with violently, means they react highly reactive, are kept on top. So in this way this series is developed. Among the commonly known metals, so which is the most reactive metal? Potassium, which is kept at the top of the list. And which is the least reactive in this column? If you see, the least reactive is gold. Now you can see your book. In your book, which is as the last, at the last is platinum. So platinum is the least reactive metal. Now what is the special features of this activity series? The ease with which a metal in solution loses electrons and forms a positive ion decreases down the series. That means the ease with which they can lose their electron decreases down the group. Means what we can understand from this is, the more reactive the metal is, uh, very easily they can lose electrons. They can lose electrons very easily. That's why they are highly reactive. Those elements which can release their electron with difficulty, or hardly they release their electrons, means they are less reactive. Hydrogen is included in the activity series. You can see hydrogen also in the activity series within the bracket. So why it is kept within the bracket? Because hydrogen is non-metal. Then why hydrogen is kept in this series? In order to show that which of the metals can displace hydrogen from dilute acids and which of the metals cannot. So for that this hydrogen is kept. You can see above hydrogen there are series of metals kept within a bracket, and if you can see on the left side what is written, these metals are more reactive than hydrogen. That means these metals can displace hydrogen from dilute acids. That means potassium can displace hydrogen from sulfuric acid, carbonic acid, any of the dilute acids, not concentrated. Okay, dilute acids means the acid in which water is added. Then below hydrogen there are some metals: copper, mercury, silver, gold, and now it is platinum also. These metals are less reactive than hydrogen. These metals are less reactive than hydrogen. So on this way this metal reactivity series is designed. That means copper, mercury, silver, gold do not react with dilute acids because they cannot displace hydrogen from dilute acids. Now you can see here these metals, potassium, sodium, then so many metals are there: potassium, sodium, lithium, then strontium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, manganese, zinc. So this is very huge list. This is huge list. So you can see here the red mark, that is they can though these metals, that means potassium, sodium, lithium, then calcium, strontium, even magnesium, even aluminium can react with water. And those metals which lie in this yellow zone, they do not react with water, but they can react with acids. They can react with acids. And then at the extreme down, that means below hydrogen, you can see a series of list of metals. They are highly unreactive. They are highly unreactive. Then you can see here cesium, then sodium, lithium, aluminium, chromium, nickel, strontium, mercury, platinum, gold. So displaces H plus from acids. So that means cesium to tin, they can displace hydrogen ion from acids, and cesium, sodium, and lithium can displace hydrogen from water. So this is not in your syllabus, but then also for the knowledge, for the awareness only I'm telling you. Then this is metal activity series: sodium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc. That means you can see the arrow moving from right to left, means as you move from right to left, you can get the more active metals. And then after hydrogen, copper, silver, gold, these are noble metals. Then you can see here which is more reactive compared to copper. Goes into the solution while copper is deposited on the iron nail. So this is one of the reaction, one of the observations shown in order to show that the displacement rate, in order to show that the more reactive metal displaces the less reactive metal. That means the metal that is lying above in the metal reactivity series can displace the metal from its salt which is lying below this metal. That means you can see iron lies above the copper. Iron lies above the copper. So how to know that iron can displace copper from its solution? This we have already done in displacement reaction also. So what we do is we make solution of copper sulfate, and then we dip iron nail. Then after few days what we see is what we see is the beaker containing blue color solution turns to greenish color solution, and the iron nail with stainless steel color changes to totally reddish brown in color. So this reddish brown color shows that copper is deposited over iron nail, and then iron is displacing copper from the solution. Iron is displacing copper from the solution, hence iron sulfate is formed, which is green in color. So you can see here iron nail dipped in copper sulfate solution. Then in the second stage you can see the solution turns pale green due to the formation of iron sulfate. So coating of precipitated copper on the iron nail, making it reddish brown in color. Activity 7, to show that copper is more reactive than silver. Again, iron is more reactive than copper, and copper is more reactive than silver. This can be understood by this activity. A test tube is half filled with silver nitrate solution and a copper coil is dipped into it. After some time you will notice that the copper coil gets coated with silver white while the solution turns blue. This shows that copper is chemically more reactive than silver. So what you are doing is you are making silver nitrate solution which is colorless, and then you are dipping copper wire. After some time what you see is this colorless solution is turning blue, which shows that copper present in the copper wire is displacing silver from the solution. That means if you really want to get silver for any of the purpose, say for example you don't have a silver ring, then you want silver ring but you are not provided with the metal silver, but you have 200 ml of silver nitrate, so you can make it out. That means what you will do is you will make solution of silver nitrate and then dip copper wire. Then in this copper wire the outer coating will be of silver, so you can take it, you can extract silver from this. That means this way displacement reaction is very beneficial for us because we can get the desired metal. So you can see here the table showing reactivity of metals with oxygen, water and acids. Potassium, sodium and calcium react with oxygen at ordinary temperature to form oxide. Then reaction with water. Potassium and sodium react with cold water vigorously. Calcium reacts moderately with cold water. So potassium and sodium are highly reactive towards cold water also. They react with cold water and forms hydrogen gas. But calcium can react with moderately cold water. It does not react vigorously. It reacts moderately. But then, so if I ask you, name three metals or name the metals which react with cold water, then what will be your answer? Potassium, sodium and calcium. Then potassium and sodium react explosively with dilute acids to give hydrogen, but calcium reacts less vigorously and hydrogen is not released. Then magnesium, aluminium, zinc and iron form oxides on heating, mind you, not in ordinary temperature. That means temperature has to be increased in case of magnesium, aluminium, zinc and iron. That means they are less reactive than potassium, sodium and calcium. But aluminium reacts with it at ordinary temperature. But aluminium is aluminium from this list 4, 5, 6, 7. Aluminium reacts at ordinary temperature also. Magnesium reacts with hot water or steam only. Others react with steam only to form oxide and hydrogen. So magnesium can react with hot water as well as steam, but rest of the metals like aluminium, zinc and iron can react with steam only. Then magnesium, aluminium, zinc and iron react moderately with acids to produce hydrogen. Then lead, copper and mercury, you can see, form oxides on very strong heating. That means temperature has to be increased very high. Then only lead, copper and mercury reacts with oxygen. They form oxides. Then reaction with water, lead, copper and mercury, they do not react with water. Even hot water, steam, whatever we use, it does not react. Then with acid, lead reacts with concentrated, not dilute acid. So Pb, lead, reacts with concentrated hydrochloric acid to give hydrogen gas. Copper and silver do not react with dilute acids because they cannot displace hydrogen from dilute acids. Then silver, gold and platinum do not react with oxygen or even on strong heating. They do not react with water, steam, anything. Do not react with dilute acids. So that means as you move down, the reactivity decreases. So silver, aluminium, silver, gold and platinum, they do not react with oxygen, with water. They do not react with air, water and dilute acids. Then some more displacement reactions are as follows. Zinc react with copper sulfate to give zinc sulfate and copper. Zinc is more reactive than copper. So how can you say zinc is more reactive than copper? Because you can see zinc is taking place of copper. Zinc is taking place of copper and copper is out. That means zinc is more reactive than copper. And in other reaction you can see magnesium is displacing iron from its salt. So magnesium sulfate and iron is out. So whichever is out, whichever is in the product side in the form of metal, they are less reactive than the metal which is on the reactant side. So magnesium is more reactive than iron. And in Zn plus H2SO4, which is more reactive, zinc or hydrogen? Zinc is more reactive than hydrogen. Non-metals also show displacement reaction. Chlorine is more reactive than iodine. Chlorine is more reactive than iodine. So 2Ki plus Cl2, then you can see that iodine is out from its salt. That means chlorine is more reactive than iodine. This much for today. Thank you.